We are here.
Yeah, where are we?
Phoenix, Arizona.
What are we doing out here?
We got an interview with Don Corleo tomorrow. We're also doing a video. We're here in some hotel, a little bit far from home.
Yeah, so we're here in Phoenix, Arizona. Tomorrow we're going to be interviewing a little bit of a more underground rapper, Dom Corleo. But we figured since we're not probably going to be able to be interviewing rappers like that consistently, or just whoever we're interviewing that consistently, we're going to be starting a little bit of a podcast on the side just to keep content coming. So if you don't want to watch on YouTube, we're also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And yeah, so anyways, today's video, we're going to be going through each of our picks for the best and worst song off of every Opium label album.
Perfect first video.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're not a fan of Opium, which if you're not, what are you doing? But yeah, so we included Homicide Gang, Destroy Lonely, Ken Carson, Cardi obviously, and then we also included Self-Titled and Die Lit by Cardi, even though they're not really Opium, but I mean, it's the same.
Same artist.
Yeah. So anyways,
Gotta include them. Fantastic albums.
we'll start off with Homicide Gang. I'll start off. So their not first project, but first project we're doing is Naughty World Deluxe. So my best pick is Holler off that album. It's the first track off that album. It's the first track from Homicide Gang I heard, and it's definitely what put me onto them. The synths is crazy. The flow, how Michi comes in is insane. But yeah, so that's my best pick. I mean, you can't get better off that album to me. It's prime Homicide Gang.
This pick is Stepdaddy. Just the 808s on that song are nice. When that beat first starts, it's just freaking creamy. I will admit, Big Avelli's part, not the best. His voice is really annoying. I can't think of only verse I could think of his that's good.
We'll get to it later.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, Stepdaddy or Holler. Holler's up there too. That's probably like that or Stepdaddy. Probably like my most played Homicide songs. So yeah, that's what I went with.
I mean, that's interesting because my actual pick for the worst song is Stepdaddy. I just think that the album doesn't really have any songs with parts in the songs that like are outright bad to me, but Big Avelli verse on Stepdaddy definitely seems
it's not that great.
Not great to me. So that's like the only complaint I really had with the album.
Sounds
not
like
that it's perfect, but
yeah, every time he comes on, I usually skip his part, but it's just like his voice, bro. It sounds like he has bronchitis.
yeah, it's not great, but
He just as cool though.
yeah, I mean, never really even seen him, but
Yeah.
your worst pick?
My worst pick is Gun. I honestly I couldn't think of a worse pick. I love all these albums that we're ranking to death. Just probably this is just what I listened to the least, so that's what I went with.
All right, so next up we have Homicide Lifestyle, classic, Opium classic,
10 out of
underground
10.
classic.
Best Homicide album.
Yeah, definitely. But my best pick is TF with Destroy Lonely and Big Avelli. And I know I just said how much I did not like Big Avelli, but I mean, honestly, he's at the end of this song on this, so it's fine. And the saving grace is Destroy Lonely. His verse is insane, probably one of his best verses, and the hook is catchy, the beat's crazy, and yeah, I think it's honestly their best song.
I went with Tripping because that first 5 seconds where there's no bass or anything, and then there's just that loop intro playing, and then Homicide Bino says some vulgar terms, and the beat just drops. It's insane. It's a perfect song for mosh pits live. Really like that song. So that's what I went with.
Aren't we seeing them September 8th in Salt Lake?
Yeah. Tap in.
Yeah, video coming for that. It's going to be great. And then my worst pick off Homicide Lifestyle is probably going to be another pick Tim Gift disagrees with, but Can't Go with Big Avelli.
Ooh.
Again, I just can't stand him a lot of the time, and it's really the only song off that album I didn't add to my playlist, so I mean, that kind of by default, that makes it my least favorite.
Didn't plan this, but Travis, give me some dap. Mine's also Can't Go. I hate
Oh.
that song. I don't know why. I just every time it comes on, like the chorus, can't go without my drink, can't go without my drink. No, just no. I don't like that song. There's nothing like terrible about it. Big Valley, obviously, he's ass. But yeah,
All right, and then their most recent project, which we were
Snot or
supposed to
Not.
see live about 10 days ago, but they canceled on us. Snot
for
or Not.
antagonist.
Yeah, so Snot or Not, cool project. So my best pick was Uzi Work, because, I mean, if you've heard the OG
valid.
intro, it's really cool sample flip, but, I mean,
They
they
play it
couldn't,
live too. Looks insane.
yeah, they couldn't include it with the actual release of the song because the sample was going to cost them like $1 million or something crazy like that. And just crazy energy throughout the song, crazy flows, and again, just showcase of what they're great at. So, Tim,
So I went with Blockwork because there's that like
great
10
choice.
second intro where it builds up. It's not like a crazy song, and most of their songs are usually like hype, but this song's more laid back. Michi comes on. I like rarely say this, but Michi carries that song. He like his voice is just beautiful. Blockwork.
Yeah, great choice. And then my worst, this is probably going to be a hot take, but Homicide Language. I think that for a lot of the song, they're kind of offbeat with the flows and just kind of stumbling along the rhythm of the song. And I just think it's somewhat of a corny concept. But yeah, Tim,
I went with Flights Booked once again.
that was up there for me as well.
Yeah, literally what he just said about that last song could be said about the same thing about this song. I like Michi's part a little bit more than Bino's, but yeah, I hardly ever say that too. Just those two occurrences. But now on to Lone.
All right, so that wraps it up for Homicide Gang. We're going to move on to Destroy Lonely now. I mean, to be honest, I didn't even care about him at all until he blew up, call me a sheep, Kai. But yeah, so anyways, we won't be including Nez Destroyed because that whole project's awful. Hot take, I guess, maybe. But Dark Horse.
I don't think it's awful, but it's definitely not great.
Yeah, so we're going to start with Dark Horse. Best song off there for me is VV's Valentine,
Yup.
or however you pronounce that.
VVS.
I don't know the designer lore, but yeah, it's really the only song off there that I could like add to my playlist without forcing myself to like it. I just think it's just a good song off that album. Good early Destroy Lonely song.
It's definitely my least favorite Destroy Lonely album, but I had to go with VVS Valentine also. It's like literally the only song I listen off of that album. The only one that got added to my playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of his music back then wasn't great, so.
And then worst, I'll admit guilty. I just didn't even bother re-listening to this album. I just said any song other than VVS Valentine you could consider the worst because, to be honest, they're all the same. Yeah.
Same flow on like every song too.
Yep.
I went with Frank Lucas because the beat's just corny as hell.
Yeah.
And some of the bars are kind of cringe too, but yeah.
All right, so next up we got Heartbroken. My best pick, I went with OK Bay because just kind of the way he uses the vocal effects to come in on that song I think is really cool. I think that his flow is really good, and I think it probably, I don't take this into account with a lot of the picks for this, but I feel like how it would do or how it would go in a live setting would be probably the best off that album. And then just shout out, the next closest one for me was probably Dover Street Market because I really like the
that
intro to
piano
that
intro,
song.
dude.
It's really cool. So yeah, Tim.
I went with Oh Yeah. That beat is just freaking amazing. I really like beats matter a lot to me. I mean, I'm sure that's with everyone, but like that's always like my main,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
I don't know what to, like. I don't. I don't have much to say, honestly.
There's not much to these songs. I
It's
mean,
just that song is really good. I like it. His flow's good. When he comes on, he got money and hopped out of bed. So,
indeed he did.
speaking facts too.
So, I mean, worst, I kind of had a hard time picking a worst, not because I loved every song, but because there was just like 2, 3, 4 songs that all just were kind of equal to me, but ultimately I went movie just because it just sounds like he's whining, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really annoying to
yeah.
me. And again, offbeat, don't love it. Not much else to say about these songs off this album, or this album in general to me. But yeah, Tim.
This might be a hot take, but I gotta go with Miley Cyrus. I don't know why that song. I don't like it. That's how I found out about Destroy Lonely. Is Miley Cyrus. Literally, the video just popped up on my YouTube.
Not a great introduction.
Yeah, I didn't like Lone at first, but now he's like number 2 on my list. So for Spotify, but yeah.
He had crazy
He blew up
step
fast.
up in as far as quality goes, which is apparent because his next album is No Stylist, another classic. So this is the first time on my list where I'm actually gonna have a tie for the best songs. So best, the first song I have as best is Bergdorf because it's
That build-up,
incredibly
bro.
catchy. The way he comes on the song is crazy. The chorus, I love how clever he is with the song. And then the other pick I have for best is Vet Mon Coat, which basic, but just the everything about that song. The beat is one of my favorite beats from any underground artist, and the video of Cardi dancing to it just kind of elevates the song for me, to be honest.
I went with off the deluxe. I went with Never Ever because that is also incredibly catchy. The beat is awesome. The lyrics are like respectfully valid as a mug. So like some of the stuff he says, Never Ever will change on my fellas.
Yeah,
That's facts.
that is facts. And then I will say, every album, so like for No Styles, for example, we are including the deluxe songs. We're not really doing that separate. Same with X, and we'll get into that later. But worst song I have is Make It Stop. He's just moaning on the beat, and whenever I hear the song, I want to make it stop. So yeah, he really said what I was thinking.
Call me Tim Edward Jensen, but I chose the same song, honestly.
Yeah.
That beat, the guitar that plays, it just sounds like so.
It doesn't pair well with his vocals,
Yeah.
really. It just kind of overtakes it.
I don't know. It's hard for me to find a Destroy Lonely song I dislike this much. Honestly, it's probably the only No Stylist song I think is bad.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but there we go. No Stylist.
Glad to see we agree on that. Next up, 2023's kind of first album that I ended up looking forward to. It was a really slow first 4 months for most of the year, and then finally, Destroy Lonely kind of ended the dry spell with If Looks Could Kill. And this album, I mean, yeah, it has 26 songs, which for me is kind of complete with any album, but I think he executed it fine. I mean, I went into the album thinking, man, this is 26 songs. I'm not really going to enjoy this, but like I wanted to deny it at first, call me a hater, but I ended up liking it a lot. Again, I have a tie, so best. The first song, I have How You Feel, because
It's gonna be a classic, bro.
that hook is crazy. Just that song, there's not really one part of the song where I think that he's kind of fumbling on the beat, I guess. I don't know how to explain it really, but I think that it's just one of his strongest hooks throughout his catalog. And then the other song, I have Money and Sex, because the beat is amazing. One of my favorite Ken Carson features of all time. And Destroy Lonely comes on that song, makes a thunderous entrance. Thunderous entrance. And yeah, so those are my two best. Tim?
Call me a glazer, but honestly, this is my favorite Destroy Lonely album, so I got a three-way tie between Raver. Oh, that scares me every time.
Yeah.
But okay, between Raver, New, and Money and Sex. Originally, I know that was like originally supposed to be on A Great Chaos, and that was a Ken song. But still, even though Lone's verse is kind of small compared to Ken's, it's still like when Travis said this earlier, but when he comes in, oh man. I'll admit though, on the album, a lot of the beats sound quite similar, but I still find so much enjoyment listening to it. I seriously, I probably re-listen to the album like every day.
Yeah, it's,
So.
I think, number 5 on my most listened to albums this year on Apple Music. Worst, I have Promo. I think it's just the most bland song off the album. It's definitely what I revisit the least. And I mean, off first listen, it was my least favorite already. I just think that its runtime is long. It's over 4 minutes, which I think there's a couple songs off that album that are over 4 minutes, but at least most of the other songs that are that long have something to revisit the song. Like, for example, How You Feel, I think, is 4 minutes-ish, but that has a really nice hook, and the verses are great. But Promo, he sounds asleep at the wheel. I don't know, just, I think it could have stayed in the vault.
I re-listened to this album yesterday, and I sat there for like 20 minutes on the car ride here, and today I re-listened to some of the songs, and I spent like 10 minutes thinking about it. I can't pick my least favorite, honestly. Promo is like not the greatest song, I'll agree, but like I still listen to it all the time. I love it. Like most people probably won't find it the best song ever, but I don't know. I couldn't pick a least favorite. I religiously listen to the album, so.
I mean, something else viewers should know is he listens to Opium a lot more than I do, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I know a lot less about the Opium lore and everything. And then, so that's about it for Destroy Lonely. On to Ken Carson. So we included Teen X, or I guess we'll start with Boy Barbie, I suppose. My favorite is Pink Panther with Lancey Foe. That's honestly the only song off that EP that I enjoy. And then worst is Mosh Pit, because it's just not a good song.
I had a tie. I had Pink Panther and Gold Medal, because I really like Lancey Foe's verse on Pink Panther.
What I meant to bring up.
Yeah. And Gold Medal, Ken sounds like really different than what he sounds now on that whole entire album. But yeah, my least favorite off that is Mosh Pit, 100%.
Yeah, that's an awful song.
I really, really like the beat too, but when I don't want to be a Ken hater, but like when Ken comes on, he like ruins it.
Yeah.
He just says the same thing over and over, like "we in a mosh pit, huh?" And just the mixing's kind of weird too.
Yeah. So, anyways, on to Teen X. So we included Teen X and Teen X Relapse just as one kind of album, because that's just easier. So my best song, Teenager Rager. I think that song is just, yeah, it's repetitive, which I might have complaints with for a lot of songs on here. But I just think this is one of the instances where repetitive is good, because it's just, he brings a lot of charm to the song, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I think it would go awesome in a live setting. I think that the beat is great. I think that just, I don't know, I really love that song. I think it's a great song.
I really love both these projects, but two best songs. I feel like these are both great projects. But my two favorites are High as Shit and Teen X Babe. Both of those beats are fantastic. I love both those beats. I remember I saw Teen X Babe live when he opened for Cardi in 2021 here, or not here, I guess, or in Utah.
Yeah.
But he played that song, at that show Travis and I were at, there was some dude in the mosh pit like
He was
geeking off Fenty or something.
Yeah,
and he
was
threw up all over
crazy.
Travis and I while we were waiting for Ken, and we had to go all the way back to the bathroom, and I had to like clean off my pants. I threw away those pants after that show. But yeah, so I miss him coming out, but the song he was playing when I got to see him was TNX Babe, and yeah,
Classic memory.
I love that song.
I mean, that night was
That's probably why I like that song so much.
honestly, yeah, that was just an insane memory. Have some tweaker throw up on you, and then Ken Carson performing about 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
So, worst song, Pissed Off, and this song pisses me off because the beat is really good, and then he comes in with horrible vocals, and that kind of just makes me even more mad, and maybe it makes me a little biased towards why this song is my least favorite, but his vocals are bad, his flow is bad, he's like, call him Blueface, he can't find the beat, so, yeah, Tim?
Yeah, what I said about Mosh Pit, literally the same thing I could say for Pissed Off. I picked that song also as my least favorite. I really like the beat. Like, first time I listened to it, I had both AirPods in with my Spotify settings on, like with the bass turned all the way up, and it actually blew out my AirPods, like the old Gen 1s. It blew them out because they were already old, but this is random. I was just thinking about it, but yeah, Pissed Off.
Yeah, that song is horrible.
Poopy.
Okay, so Project X, I remember when this song came out, or not the song, the album. The album dropped in 2021, and that's how I discovered Ken Carson. And then, so yeah, a lot of good songs on here. It was pretty hard to pick my favorite. So my favorite is definitely Run Plus Ran. I always love me a good beat switch, and this song has a really good beat switch, and if I had to split the song in two and like pick which half is my favorite, I would probably go with Ran, because it's just, I don't know, it's almost inspiring.
We made such a good memory at Rolling Loud with that too, bro.
Yeah. YL in Boston, if you're watching, that was a awesome experience. Can't wait for Rolling Loud 24. But yeah, so he just brings a really good energy to that song. But I mean, in the video, he has people doing coke. That's kind of cringe, but
yeah.
So, Tim?
Well, I went with Run Plus Ran also, but I also have two more, because this is like Ken Carson. Great album. Can't pick one favorite. I went with Run Plus Ran, obviously, but Clutch, Burning Up. There's not a bad song on that album. I couldn't think of a bad song to list. So I also religiously listen to this album. Like every day at school, I'll be sitting there, sipping some water, listening to Project X. I seriously, I couldn't pick a favorite.
Yeah,
Or
there's
pick
really...
Pick a least favorite.
There's really not a bad song on this album, but I guess, the song I revisit the least, or the song I think I have the least to it, this might be a hot take, but I had Party All Day, and I don't really know why this song doesn't really grab me as much as a lot of the rest of the album does. I just don't really love the vocals, but I mean, it has a really cool beat, and I think that just the bars are really corny on the song as well. But yeah, that's my pick.
I went with, this is probably everyone's, not everyone's, but pretty popular answer. Freestyle 2, bro. Like, at shows and everything, when he comes on.
Wait, you listed your worst for Project X already, right?
Oh, why did I think we were on X?
You're good. Well, what's your least favorite off Project X?
I didn't have one.
Oh, yeah, right. But, like, let's say you had to pick one song that you just revisit the least.
Dude, I don't know. Like, I seriously... I need to think, bro.
Well, I mean, for example, like, my favorite album of all time is Good Kid, Mad City, but I'll still say that, like, for example, Real is my least...
That song?
I revisit that song the least. Or maybe... I don't know. If you can't pick one, that's fine. We'll just move on to X.
Probably Change. I listened to Change the least, but that's still a great song.
Yeah, I guess.
His flow on that is really nice.
Anyways, so moving on to X, I had a tie. So my first song is Intro. That is just probably the most energy I've heard Ken Carson bring to any song, other than the other song I have on this tie, obviously. But it just really feels like it's a great intro. I love the kind of bridges between different verses and the flow switches, and the beat's great, and it's probably his best vocal performance on any song that I know of. And then the other song I have is Freestyle 3, because I still remember listening to the beat build-up. It is one of my favorite beats of all time. He has, again, crazy energy.
Listening to that for the first time, bro.
Yeah, on Halloween, that was a great memory. But yeah, so Intro and Freestyle 3 are my two favorites, and then you already said yours was Freestyle 2, but you didn't really get a chance to explain why yet.
Yeah, I chose Freestyle 2 because that beat, like you hear the filthy tag, and you already know what's going down, Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Seriously, like that show or that song is perfect for like concerts. Every DJ plays it now for like when they
Yeah,
open, like every DJ set they play it now.
I haven't been to a concert in a while where they don't play that song, waiting for the artist to come out.
Yeah, it's a fantastic song. What'd you pick from least favorite?
I had the same thing. I just think that this is, again, the song I revisit the least. I think that there's not really a lot to it. I think that
Damn sirens, bro.
it's just repetitive. I don't know.
Yeah, I went with Going Shits.
I actually like that song, not gonna lie. That's like one of my favorites off the album.
I don't know why. Every time that comes up, though, I skip it. It doesn't, like, click with me for some reason. I don't know. It's like I think it's the only song off X, including Extended, that I don't like. But yeah, I also forgot to mention Freestyle 3 is definitely up there with Freestyle 2.
Yeah,
100%.
all the freestyles are really good. Okay, so
Sir Cartier.
yeah, Ken Carson's done, so we're going to move on to Playboy Carti by Playboy Carti, which I was saying this to Tim earlier, but I forget that that album's actually called Playboy Carti and not self-titled, because everyone refers to it as self-titled, and I forget that
Best
it's called...
self-titled album of all time.
I mean, self-titled implies it's called Playboy Carti, but I just forget that's actually called that. But my best pick, kind of basic, I picked New Choppa, because that's one of my favorite beats of all time. You have two of my favorite artists collabing. The music video is insane. I know that really doesn't have a lot to do with it, but that's just, it elevates the song for me. The chorus, like how Rocky is kind of on the background of the chorus and then comes in for his verse, is just everything about that song I love. It's an awesome song. Tim?
I went with Yeah Mean, because that song, I like that loop that it has. I don't know what the instrument is, but I don't know. I love that. Most people don't know about that song though. When he says, people think he's saying "yeah mean," or "yeah mean," but he's saying "yeah mean," like referring to the basketball player. Just FYI.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But that song, it's like more on the chill side. But I don't know that song. I remember I got my AirPod Pros for the first time, like, I don't know how long ago, but I brought them to Boondocks for some reason, and I was going on the go-karts listening to that song, and it felt like I was in a music video or something. I don't know. I just really like that song. But number 2, I gotta go with Flex or Kelly K.
Flex is amazing. That was up there for me. The feature on that song is one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. Gotta be honest.
Self-titled, bro. Terrific album. Once again, I can't pick a least favorite off this album.
I mean, yeah, it was really hard for me to pick a least favorite. I just went with a song I revisit the least. I picked Had To, because I really like the beat. I like a lot about that song, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just think it's probably the least catchy. I mean, a lot of people may disagree with that, but that's just my opinion. And then you,
Didn't have a favorite.
right.
All right, or least favorite.
Dial It, best song for me. Choppa Won't Miss with Young Thug.
Ooh.
Young Thug is one of my favorite artists of all time. And again, just two of my favorite artists collabing. I remember the first time I heard that song, it was on this bootleg vinyl I got from some website. And the track list was all out of order. And for some reason, the Choppa Won't Miss on that vinyl was like, there was only the first 30 seconds of it. But I remember listening to it and just off the first 30 seconds, I'm like, this is fantastic. So I went on my phone,
Put that
pulled
bit on
up
your
Choppa
playlist.
Won't Miss. And yeah, that was a really just Young Thug's verse, I think is one of his best performances. Everything that, if you're a Young Thug fan, you'll understand. And again, Cardi's hook is crazy. And another song out up there is Love Hurts with Travis Scott.
Oh yeah, dude.
The bass on that is really awesome. So, Tim?
Travis Scott's verse on that is also like really really good. Yeah, it's kind of underrated, honestly. I don't really see much about it. Hopefully, okay. Two favorites off of Dial It are Home KOD or Pull Up. It's such a great album. Most people probably won't agree with my takes on this album, but I like Pull Up a lot. I remember first time I listened to it, I think it was my least favorite, and then I listened to it again, and it caught on to me. Like the bars, it's catchy. The beat's kind of weird, but like in a good weird. Like I like it a lot. I like beats like that. But yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's funny you say that because the song I revisit the least, the song that I picked here for my least favorite is actually Pull Up. I don't know. It's just off first listen, I remember I was enjoying the album a lot, and then that song came up, and then I kind of just got bored for a sec, and that's the only time throughout the entire listen that I felt bored. I think that, I don't know, it's just probably to me the most bland song off Dial It. And again, it's not a bad song by any means, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, Tim?
I'm pretty sure Travis already knows this. I
Yeah.
always say this. This is probably, no one's going to agree with me on this one, bro. I'm not saying this to be different. I'm being like 100% real. Shoota, bro. I
It's
can't
not
stand
that bad.
song. I
It's
can't
not
stand
that
it.
bad.
Like, I don't know why. I think it was just because I saw it so much. Like, kind of got overplayed for me. I don't know. I just, every time, I literally have it blocked on my Spotify. Like, I won't want that coming up, bro.
What don't you like about it?
Everything, bro. I like the beat. I feel like it's so corny, and the bars. Now is my time. Like freaking.
It's a classic. Come on, dude.
No, I don't know why. I don't fuss with it.
You know, everyone's got their picks. Everyone's got their hot takes, but I guess that's his. And then, sorry about that. There's nothing we can really do about that. But last album on the list, ladies and gentlemen, Whole Lotta Red.
Also the greatest album of all time. I stick to that no matter what.
Yeah.
Day one defender, bro.
Okay, well, anyways, best song for me is I Love You, I Hate You. I remember seeing that song live. I had like the most euphoric feeling I've ever felt in my life. Just like at that concert, I was missing a shoe. My toenail had like been
We'll pull a picture up.
cracked in half. No. No one
No,
wants to see
not
that.
the toenail, but I have a picture of Travis missing his shoe.
Yeah,
and,
that was crazy. My toenail just like been snapped right off because I lost my shoe because for whatever reason I wore Vans slip-on shoes to that concert. So that's kind of my
energy
fault.
at that concert, bro.
Yeah, the beat is one of my favorite beats of all time. Cardi put a lot of emotion into it. It's really catchy. And I just like the bars. Honestly, like It's just a classic.
Once again, I'm a Cardi Glazer. My favorite song, I couldn't really like pick a favorite, but I think my favorite like right now, not all time. I don't know all time, but my two favorites right now are New Tank and Not Playing or Stop Playing. I really like the beat
It's
for
Not
Stop Playing.
Not playing.
We'll read it.
No,
Alright.
it's fine. Continue,
Dude, I don't
bro.
want to sound like a fake fan. It's fine. Okay, anyways. But the bars on that are kind of funny, which makes it like better to me, if that makes sense. But yeah,
You're a fake fan.
I know. It sounds like it, but I'm not. Hey, look, I'll pull up a picture of my most listened to on Spotify.
Okay.
And
I don't have your Spotify.
I'll pull it up.
Okay. Well, we'll put that in the video. So, yeah, Tim, fake fan, Cardi exposed. Anyways, before we get into that, let's just move on. Miley's favorite, again, might be a hot take. I can't stand Jump Out the House.
Bro.
I've said before that, like for Teenager Rager, I said that I like the repetitiveness almost, but this, I don't know. It's just, the only saving grace of this song is that it's not that long. I still have it on my playlist. Like, it's not, I don't think it's horrible. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I said I can't stand it, but
It
just
goes.
whenever it comes up, I just skip it. But
I
I
love
don't
that
think it's a
song.
bad song, but at the same time, I can't stand it. I don't know. It's just weird for me. But yeah, your worst song.
I couldn't pick a worse song, but to go off what he was saying, off of Jump Out the House, I'll admit it's pretty repetitive. But like once he starts getting going, when he's like SRT with no mileage,
I don't know. That's even worse part of the song.
I don't know. I think it goes hard.
Sounds like he's whining again.
Bus.
So is that your pick for the worst?
I can't pick a worse, bro. Like seriously, bro. I love every song off that album. I have every single song in my playlist since, maybe not since the day it released, but yeah, I
Yeah.
can see why Jump Out the House would be your least favorite.
I remember we were walking around after the album released, and we were listening to Metamorphosis, and we're like, this is the worst song ever. And then now I love that song.
Metamorphosis is fire. I like Kid Cudi's verse on that too, and I don't really like Kid Cudi.
He was acting like a weirdo in the music video, though. And the snippet of them listening to the Pissy Pamper remix was weird, to say the least. That was kind of creepy. But yeah,
I missed that rollout too. That was
a crazy rollout. Anyways, so that wraps it up for the first episode of our podcast. Again, if you don't want to watch on YouTube, go check us out, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then anytime throughout the next week, hopefully, we should be having our interview with Dom Corleo going up. And by some chance, if that doesn't happen, we'll still have a video out for the concert. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Yeah, stay tuned for more videos. We're going to try to be pumping out at least 1 to 2 podcasts a week, hopefully.
yup.
We got a lot of good stuff coming. And yeah, Backseat Radio.
Also, if it's like a little choppy, it's our first time. Yeah, that's it. I just want to say that.
Don't be a judger.
Don't be a
Ken
judger.
Carson. Yeah. All right. Peace out.